So this person made a response utilizing this 1875 photograph that was actually in the Library of Congress. She got mad because I proved, at least in one instance, which I have many others, where these people were whitewashed into this as a pencil sketch in a book almost 100 years later. The first one was 1816. The second book was like 1913 or 19 something like that. But besides the point, go watch that video. But this is what they want to do with us and play with us, because they try to show these people in black and white photos, right? And they got the lighting all certain ways where people's faces can be darker than what they likely appear to be. Because I mean, think about that YT person's face. We know that that's a YT person. We know that that's a YT person. But why is his skin tone not all the way YT in the photograph? It's really very not too far off from the shade of this guy that they're trying to make you believe is copper colored. But that's how they try to trick you with some of their photography, okay? But even if you want to believe that these people were dark copper colored with straight hair also, are we going to discount Fannie Mae Dunn, the 3/4 shot top, who was straight haired and heavily melanated? We're going to ignore Billy Bowlegs, the Seminole chief, who was heavily dark and copper and super straight hair. We're going to ignore the other Seminoles inside the National Archive records as well, because at first I didn't believe her photo. I don't really believe photos without a link, typically. But what she ended up providing the Library of Congress link, because the Library of Congress does have a lot of fake people who came over after some time frame. But when you look at these people, their hair is straight too. So why are they trying to try this trick with you? Because they want you to believe that these people are not those same people I just showed you, and that those other people came from Africa, and somehow both of them have straight hair, even though Africans don't have nowhere near straight hair. But let's look into the books of the Voyagers. This one in particular, get the screenshot. But let's look into what they say, because just because you take a copper skin and hair doesn't mean that you're talking about the same people. There's still other features. There's still other ways that they describe the people. And let's also just look at who some of these people are comparing these people to, because now what they're trying to say is we both look like Africans, but also we got people that look like their people, but we're not their people. There are some different Asiatic, Mongolian people, and everybody's trying to take on our lookership. They're trying to claim to a little bit of it, even though the people today ain't got no kind of copper anywhere in them. But let's look. It says, though America possesses some dark brown men approaching to black, yet it has been almost universally believed that there were no aboriginal blacks or Negroes found on this continent. Now, who has been termed to be either black or Negro? Mistake you for the both? Sit there and call you both? Is this a Negro phenotype? We know it's not a Negro phenotype, because when they get on the TikToks and all this other stuff, they talk about our African phenotype, right? So now they want to claim fame. Now that we go deep into the histories, they want to try to claim onto that, the little bit of copper. But there's other descriptions of the Indians that they did not get, because they didn't read these books. Y'all know they lazy. They not reading like we reading. Okay, listen, look at what they got on. The most they got right is a feather, right? What do I mean by that? Look at their garments. They got on feathers. They got some long pants on, some weird colored looking, shoes with the patterns. A lot of Siberian patterns, whatever, right? They have that going on. They look at like their necklaces and stuff. They don't really have any necklaces. Not a whole lot going on. I say that to say that you can even look at other people like DeSoto and him describing that these people had used so many pearls that these ladies wore strings, long strings of triple or quadruple rows of pearls. You know, the men did as well, and sometimes just one or two rows. It talks about rows of pearls, but it says many different things that they did and what they wore as well. Now, for a moment, I'm gonna stick to the pearls thing. Now, we have other people who have drawn us melanated with straight or curly straight like hair, not woolly, and they have pearls, 2 rows of pearls, pearls on her arms, pearls in her ears. Got behind her, they even got little pearl necklaces, barely seeing right there. Another lady here, Indian, America, depicted with pearls. This is from the Allegory to the Continents in Germany. This one is a painting in the Woolridge something, but 1, 2, 3, 4 necklaces, 4 rows of necklaces. Not sure if these are pearls, but it follows the same connotation. And I could keep going on and on with the pearls thing, double rows of pearls, pearls in their ears, but I got a whole video on that. But what you don't see with these people are pearls, okay? You don't see pearls. They also talk about us having hoop earrings, gold rings, gold hoops, always, some of it here, some of it were around the wrist, okay? They talked about a lot of that, but you know what? These guys never got the memo. They wasn't digging back into the historic books like we are today. They didn't have access to it back then so easily, so I give them a pass, but it makes it easy for us to whoop your ass with these receipts. I mean, you got books right here, screenshot if you want to, by McCullough, talking about all these voyages, and it says right here, the circumstances has been noticed by Strabo as a distinction between the two races, as we cannot admit for a moment that these American blacks were ever driven. When were they ever called American blacks? But American blacks were ever driven by stress of weather across the Pacific Ocean to California, unless it be proved that they are the descendants of some Negroes. Why would they refer to y'all as Negroes? Left by the Spaniards, African Negroes. They ain't never compared y'all to no Africans. Quit playing with us. And it will follow of necessity that they have been settled in America from the earliest of ages. In another part of America, if reliance can be placed upon the correctness of the relation, a race of blacks were seen so early a period of our history that it seems impossible to avoid the conclusion that they were aboriginal. And that's Peter Martyr, and that's in the 3D decade. I need to find that book so I can pull that up, because he gives the sources. And it's crazy because the lady says, if you want, I have more. Most Indians have tan or bronze skin for the climate they're in, because how much they get, much they are equal. It's a bunch of BS. Okay, a bunch of BS. Y'all don't have it today. And the very few of the people that have it today have some kind of really recent black mixture of some aboriginal person in South America or wherever the hell they are, or here in North America, wherever they got the copper tinge skin from. Okay, we're not idiots. And the other thing you got to look at is just because you can find some copper colored people with straight hair, that's all you're looking for. That's why I go so deep in many videos about the descriptions that these people write about us, not just the pearls. Okay, and I have so many. I just don't have time. We only get 10 minutes, but I can show so many more people. And not only can I show photographs as well as paintings and drawings from around the world, okay, depicting us, but I can show voyagers who described us in the same manner, wearing these pearls, wearing this gold, wearing these gold plates. The caciques, they had many different chains, and then they had one big giant circle chain in the middle, like a pendant like we have today. And that was said by the voyagers. I can talk about how the voyagers say about the things that we planted. Y'all don't even know about how to get corn. The crazy thing is, I'm about to do a whole video about that, about how this dude talks about they got corn from the corn when it was passed down to them or traded to them. And I was like, you got to know how to actually implement corn. You can't just, it needs hand intervention. These people are just crazy, man, at this point. But I don't care how many so-called copper-colored, straight-haired people you can find. That's a lot of people in the world. That's a ton of us copper-colored, straight-haired people in the world. What's the phenotype difference? Can we get to that? Quit playing with us.